So a country bumpkin who had to drop out of school, shrink his apartment, work at a head shop, getting, proposition and stuff. Doesn't sound like you were on the right track, or like that. It didn't sound like hope is very good for you. But obviously, we know that things are going well for you now. So, what would you say were some of your turning points?
Well, when I got my first job in the industry, it was I think a big turning point, because then I had enough money, and I told the guy at the head shop, I said, I just got hired at Hanna-Barbera Studios to be an assistant animator. And Hanna-Barbera doesn't exist anymore, but they used to do the Jetsons and the Flintstones and Smurfs and things like that.
I remember the Hunt.
Yeah, and I got my first job on the assembly line doing this stuff. And he's like, what? He says, you can't quit. And so I was making, when I got that job, I was bringing home about $85 a week. So, a quarter of my pay would go to my rent. And I said, I'm going to be making 3 times. I'm going to be making $240 a week. I said, I can't stay here and work. He says, but it's almost Christmas. He says, don't you know how many bongs, people want to buy these and things. It's like, it's almost, you can't walk out on me 2 weeks before Christmas, man. And I said, sorry, I got to go. And this guy was funny, because he looked like Clint Eastwood with red hair. And he was a big bodybuilding guy. And he was sort of serious like that. And he didn't do any drugs. He was like a juicer guy, like way before his time. And
like carrot juice, you mean?
yeah, but he was, but he made a living selling drug paraphernalia.
A stand-up guy like that, you think he would have understood. But how did you score a job with Hanna-Barbera? I mean, that sounds like...
Well, it took 2 tries. Hanna-Barbera, I started working there in 1979. I went there in 1978, as I recall, and I don't remember certain details for a lot of reasons, but I went. It was basically an open. I don't know how I heard about it, just through the grapevine, maybe through the school. They said they have a training program at Hanna-Barbera, and they're looking for art students and people who can draw, and who can draw well, and you can make an appointment and show your portfolio, and if they like your work, they'll invite you to a class, and this was very legit. And you don't have to pay anything for the class. It's on them. It's at their studio. It's twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday nights, and they'll teach you how to do in-betweening for 2 years. Well, we only had 2D animation then, but it was in-betweening for Saturday morning cartoons. And being the cartoon junkie I was when I was a kid, I was like, this would be great. And I went over there, and I had a sketch. I had a portfolio. I don't know if you could call it that, but had some cartoon drawings and had some really detailed pencil renderings that I had done from photographs from movies and things. 2001. The 2 guys talking with Hal in the background. Just a black and white pencil rendering of that, and David Bowie with the Native American lady, trading beads, and The Man Who Fell to Earth. And I was into, movies at the time, and I would just like to just get those still a picture for like a lobby card or something and copy that, or from a magazine and copy that. And he's like, well, these renderings are good, but your cartoons really aren't very good. He says, come back when you have more work. And I was so depressed, I was so down, and I'm just like, oh, this is never going to work for me. And I didn't, but I did, over the next year, I did do a few more drawings. I didn't do that many more, but I went again about a year later. Maybe it was only 9 or 10 months later, but I went again, and I was very, very fortunate, because there was a guy in the lobby with me, a guy named Stan Wallace, and he was my age, and Stan had his portfolio, and he's all ready, and I had my drawings, and I'm ready, and some secretary person or assistant said to us, Harry's got to leave for lunch in just 5 minutes. Harry was the guy who was interviewing us and looking at our work. And so you guys can both go in together.
So you tripped Stan, and then what?
Stan and I both walked in there, and he's, all right, guys, lay out your drawings. Okay. Fine, come to class Tuesday. He was in a hurry. It was good that he was in a hurry. He didn't look at anything. He only looked at a few
That's
drawings.
something to write down,
Like,
everybody.
you're in. So we're into the class. It doesn't mean you got a job yet. But then within 3 months, I had a job, and I'm still doing this stuff. But,
Yeah, very cool. So what took you from Hanna-Barbera to like Disney? what got you in? What were some of your first works there?
Um,
You worked on the Smurfs, right? You said
The first pilot episode of the Smurfs, yeah, it was only 15 minutes, but they were selling it to the network, to see if they would like it. And so, yeah, it was the first pilot. And I was just doing, in-between stuff on that, assistant animation.
Gargamel was your idea and stuff.
No, none of it was my idea at all. But I did meet Peo, who was the inventor of the Smurfs. He came over and from, I guess, Belgium, or I don't know where they're from. And his writer was a guy with a really long beard, a skinny guy with the big eyes, and he was like, he was sort of like that guy from Rocky Horror Picture Show, the bald guy in Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
So with a long beard, imagine.
I can already picture it. It will haunt my dreams.
Yeah, it was great. He was a great guy. But he'd hardly say anything, but he wrote all the comics, and Peo drew all the comics. And Peo gave me a drawing of the Smurf, and I've got it somewhere. I don't know where it is.
It's awesome.